Hey everyone, community admin Atlas back again with another playthrough. We've actually got two playthroughs this time. This was my first run in. I had a really good build, but this was my first run in with Dr. Wolf. Feel free to pause at any given point in time if you guys want to see what's on the screen, but basically I'm just going to go through this pretty much raw. This fight is pretty difficult. I know a lot of people have been having difficulty with it. I think I failed my first 3 attempts with him, but I had a really good build, and I'm pretty sure I just deleted him in this run. So part of the build that I'm going with is basically stacking electricity and electric proc, and I'm relying on the 2 resurrections that I have to basically get me through this fight and my Dr. Wolf fight. So I've gotten a lot better at the first 2 bosses in Ovis Loop so far, so now I end up basically using my 2 resurrections on normal, at least so far, with the very first Dr. Wolf fight. I've been trying to basically complete a playthrough and then see if the new alert levels continue on. You can see that I stunned him here. Huge electric procs. Not doing a lot of damage, but basically the electricity procs never stop. But one of the things that I wanted to see is if, for instance, if you go through a normal playthrough and then you move into Alert 1, does it keep and continue that... no, I actually ended up dying here. Okay. Does it continue and keep the progress? So, for instance, if I had 1 here, and then would I go back into Alert Level 1? Jumping into the second clip here, and I'll add a little bit of a transition there, but jumping into the second clip here, I'm basically a couple branches before the final fight, so we'll go through this together. We've got about 25 minutes left. But you can see that I am also building another electric blade build, and so I'm heavily relying on Thunder as my stopping power and Blade as my coverage for short-range fights. Because Thunder is such a low-cost and low-time investment, it allows me to spam it initially. I also have the 5% chance for blades or whatever, and some other combo items. I don't know what combo items are giving me the small tiny swords, but as I continue on throughout this playthrough, I basically end up starting to just annihilate, and it becomes decently hard to figure out what is going on the screen. So I'll go back and probably end up dismantling these, just because none of those benefit me in any particular way. I'm not going for max speed like I would with a burst blade build. This is the tower with all of the weird wolves in it. I was originally going to talk to him, but because I was recording, I was like, all right. So you have to go up to this top level and then trigger them, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down an electric field and keep it around my feet. And because of that, it allows Thunder to continuously cover me, and because of that coverage, the Electro Blade, the very first initial skill that you get with the electric rapier, allows you to cover a high density area with a lot of damage, or a small density area with a lot of damage. Burning lightning is pretty good, but I didn't really need the fire, so I was looking at whether or not this was stacked, but plus 1 additional burn for every lightning. So in this case, 2 burn for every lightning is a pretty good deal. It just means more damage over time. Thunder is pretty clear here. I'm starting to stack up pretty high. Now that I have multiple electric effects, I'm starting to stack up being able to trigger lightning almost instantly, One of the things that I like to do with this particular room is wait until they're all basically pressed up against that wall. I don't know why they trigger like that. I would argue that it's a bug, but it's not that big of a bug. So it does make them easy to clear out, at least with the electro rapier. Checking to see who's up top, because if I remember correctly, one of those jumpy guys ends up showing up here on this side. I'm starting to clear so fast that I don't know what's going on. I'll have to ask Jay or Lee where where those swords come from, the small swords, because I'm curious about it myself. I thought it was from the blade build, but I had another build the other day that has the same. Yeah, there's one of those guys, the boss. But I had one of those, a similar build, but I don't think that it's from the blade module. I think it's from something else that gives you electricity, because I didn't have the blade module until my last run yesterday. So most of the time, I typically try to upgrade the skills that I have, and especially if I'm going with the electric rapier build, I build thunder and then electric shock, the one that drops a field, because they stack the field together. So thunder has that really small field, and electric shock has the really wide field, so it allows me to clear a good area, and then I use my electro blade to clear out or instantly trigger. I think in this one I have... What skill do I have with my electro blade? I don't think I have anything. Oh, I have electric field as well on that one, on this build. But yeah, I think this weapon in particular, I think it needs to be trimmed. I think that the cooldown is too much to have on a weapon. It's probably what makes this so strong, because you don't necessarily always have to wait for a full timer, and you end up with the ability to basically spam. You'll see that in this video for sure. There are multiple times where I just spam 5, 6 abilities back and forth and clear an entire room that way. So one of the things I saw people asking was about this conflict, and I think the conflict makes other hyena and scavenger events that you normally run into, I think it makes those more hostile to you, so you have increased prices or something like that. If it doesn't, and I haven't fully tested this yet, but if it doesn't, it definitely should. I hate these guys. This room in particular is so annoying. So I just spammed 2 thunders there back to back. I think the jump rope is the... No, the jump rope's not the one that gives me refresh when I dodge correctly. Clear, room clear right there. There are times where I played with the electro blade and I just get a lot of attack speed and power built up that it becomes super easy to clear out entire rooms, and you'll find yourself basically speed running. I think honestly, if you were to do like a speed run of this, you would basically have to play with the electro blade. There's probably other good builds that you could have, but the electro blade has been one of the easier weapons to get through this all with. I hate those guys that the 2 sword arm guys. I don't know what they're called. Whacked here by a tiny wolf pissed me off. The shield guys are interesting because normally you have much more aggressive enemies, and the shield guys are just super tanky. You see some enemies like that in the 3rd zone. I kept messing it up here. This jump, I always mess it up. But yeah, some of the enemies in the 3rd zone are really tanky. There's that dome head guy. So this would be the 2nd boss we ended up clearing through. So I didn't particularly need that because none of my skills were maxed out yet, but it is a good effect to have. I hate this guy. I hate the scrap collector. I don't know why, but I always mess up this attack right here. I know when to roll, but I always end up messing it up. I hate that grab. I'm pretty sure you can dodge that grab by... I'm gonna die here, by the way, and waste one of my resurrections. No. I was pretty disappointed with that. So I was just like, alright, screw it, burn it. Let's see how fast we can get it down. I'm pretty sure I was like, God damn it, not another grab. I haven't found the manium stacking to be a large enough penalty not to take it. Battery is a pretty good one. I'm pretty sure I take it there. Battery is just pure positive. Every 10 uses of skills, you get 100% damage on the next skill throw. It's very good. It's easy to understand. You can see that I have the battery thing above my head. Once it's full, I end up getting that 100%, and then it recharges after that. I always miss that throw. I know you can damage them there. I've seen some Korean and Japanese players damage them there. But I started to get this boss pretty well, down pretty well. You can see that I still take some of the hits just because everything going on screen, and I've seen some players complain about that as well. I always miss the thunders when I'm up close like this. I think it was Hikamori on the Discord who said that if you stay close to this boss, you'll find it a lot easier, which makes a lot more sense. I'm trying to burn him down to at least a quarter health before he goes into his second phase. I've seen a lot of players actually burn him his full health bar before he even gets to this point right here. Yeah, so dead. The thunder started to pop there. So... the one thing you don't want is to take these altered effects unless you're going for a build like that and stacking up fire and electric. So at least this point, it would have made sure that electricity loses its stun effect because its stun effect comes from the damage stack that it does. Let me see, I'm looking to trade one of these. I don't think I trade. Yeah, doubles the electric trigger time, but plus watering can reduces it by 25. And then I took one of those because I had a double stack. She's super cute, mouse. I'm just gonna burn all my money here, and I have a little bit left over for a module in a shop. This guy still kicks my ass here. I knew he was there, and I was like, yep, I'm not gonna let him... Oh, did I? Yeah, no, I still got hit. I was like, I know he's there, I'm not gonna die this time, or I'm not gonna get hit this time, and I still got hit. I'm looking for the most amount of question marks and boss ranks with the most amount of modification potential. Usually when I build my builds, that's how I look for my maps. I've seen a lot of other players try different map builds, which is also just as important, because if you don't pick the right map path, you can find yourself stuck with very bad picks when it comes to modules. I've seen a lot of players ask me how I have 3 reroll dice. That just comes down to what I picked in my Omega tree. I always tend to forget about them though, but I would recommend with your dice, You probably don't want to spend them until your second map run or third map run, just because I don't know if anything regenerates during that, you know, zero phase first phase, or zero wave first wave. So now I'm gonna pick and I think go with Thunderbolt and upgrade that. Yep. Unfortunately, I got now 40% chance to do extra damage with my electricity on hit, which is good. These are the guys that are super tanky. I find that when I'm doing other things, that I tend to forget about these guys, and then they do that big jump, and I can't see myself on screen, and I end up hurting myself. So usually with my electric builds, if I have Thunderbolt, I try and hit the boss first, so it gets a stack of electricity. And because of that, it ends up being able to easier to crowd control the other ads and mobs. This is the one, I'm pretty sure I just burned all of it and added it, yeah. And then shop, because shop you can always get good potential modules and free upgrades. Yep, plus 20%, or plus, yeah, plus 1 additional lightning. Yep, that's it. And then Thunderbolt, I'll try and get a good skill. I was just like, screw it, it's free, I might as well anyways. Here's the funniest thing, I'm pretty sure it's that electro ball is so good. I didn't realize that it's stunned. It's a lot better than you think it is, and it's a lot bigger too. It's not like one of the other, like the acid ray or whatever it's called. It is huge. The electro ball is huge. I like this room because it gives you a little bit of time to prep. I think now at this point I've basically gotten to the point where despite my health being so low, I'm doing so much more damage than the health damage that I take, that I end up being able to fundamentally keep my health through recovery much higher than I normally would. I'm looking for the little spiky professor guy. There he is. I didn't realize the boss had spawned, so it ended up spawning and dropped down on me and died. I think I just burned this one too. I don't need any of these sword modules. Oh, I did take a snug and cozy. So then mini boss, which gives you another manium piece. This guy I deleted. I remember this fight pretty well. Yeah, just the electric fields. I think I get bit here once. Nope, I dodged. But yeah, the stun, and then basically just end up infinite burning him. Because he's stuck in that field, it continues to proc electric proc, and then yep, the big sword slam came in and killed him off. Grab the manium and then bounce. Pretty sure I take normal attacks, grant super armor. Yep, just makes you tankier, makes you less likely to be stunned. The one thing that I think fire has over, lightning has over fire is the fact that the thunderbolts are also technically attacks, like they're not just graphical effects. The thunderbolt will strike anything that's above it as well. And fire can't do that without a wildfire module, but at least the thunderbolt itself can. So if you see on the left there where the big tank head guy was, he was actually getting hit by that thunder underneath. Obviously take the lightning effect, hybrid engine. Another shop because means potential upgrades for free. I think this is where I take Electro Ball. Pretty sure that's what that is on the right there. I guess not. Electric Anchor is pretty good because it gives you Wild Current. Wild Current allows you to stack electric effect on your sword itself, which means that your build then procs electric damage every single hit, every single normal hit. If you don't know how to swap these, by the way, when you're in this screen, press X and it swaps the order. I was trying to figure it out. It's X. There's actually not a good key indicator there. Question marks are good for modules. Unfortunately, this time it was health, so I think I take the max health because the next one is a campfire. But I probably should have gone with the boss, but at this point, like, electric is pretty good. This was indeed arguably one of my funner fights just because of the build and me actually completing this. I think my videos from this point forward are probably going to be, instead of like partial runs and that, I'll just do a full run recording, and if I die, I die. But with 2 resurrection things, it's pretty hard to die. I'm relying on my resurrection knowing that I'm gonna die here, so I have at least 1 left, which I think was that one. No, I guess I didn't die. I had 2, I hate that attack. I literally just got lucky here. That's what happened. Because if I had died right there, I still would have failed this run. As you can see, I was pretty excited for the fact that I had won. Jay is such a great fucking artist. So I got 1 more piece of data. I think you get 2 from this room. In my opinion, I think what they should do is they should add more in between levels. So it should be, instead of the first one going to a boss, it should be a run, and then you go to the next level. So instead of a boss at each end of level, it should be 1 with no boss, and then 1 with a boss, and then 1 with no boss, and then 1 with a boss, and then 1 with no boss, and then Dr. Wolf. It gives you the time to slowly build a little bit more power up. So you would technically have 2, 4, 6 levels to go through. we'll see what the future has to hold here, because I'm genuinely enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the builds. I have yet to do a full hammer build, so we'll see how that goes. I need to do a successful flame build, and I still have a bunch of achievements to get, which I think you can only get at higher wave levels. And then this is where you learn about, what is it, the wave levels, or sorry, alarm levels. They have they have temporary pictures on there. I'm pretty sure that's a robot, and I almost said her real name, but I think that's Alpha and Omega, a little doodle Jay made. So here I go through and I unlock everything. I'm not sure what to do about the manium crystals as a currency, because I think at the end of the day there needs to be more ways to spend those beyond just the upgrades. I think the upgrades are super important, but I think those should also be reserved for data, and the manium crystals should be, maybe you have like a module store where you can unlock stuff to have in your runs, maybe modify runs. That could be interesting, but I would like to see more done with more wave levels and more ways to build more power. Anyways, if you guys like the video, do all the YouTube stuff. Much love, and I will see you guys in the next video.